Hello, everybody. My name is Nabila Imam Shah, and I am a standard setter at the Accounting Standards Board. I would like to explain to you in this short video on how to use the Standards of GRAP. Please take note of our standard disclaimer that if there are views and opinions expressed in this recording, it is my view and not the official position of the ASB. Pronouncements of the ASB. Pronouncements include the conceptual framework, standards of GRAP, directives, guidelines, and interpretations. Legislation requires the board to set standards of GRAP and prepare and publish directives, guidelines, and interpretations of the standards of GRAP. The board applies its policy, which outlines the considerations to determine the pronouncements that should be developed. The different pronouncements. The conceptual framework. The conceptual framework for general purpose financial reporting establishes the concepts to be applied in developing the standards of GRAP applicable to the preparation and presentation of general purpose financial statements of public sector entities, and also the presentation of general purpose financial reports, which are reported outside the financial statements and which complement and supplement the information in the financial statements. The conceptual framework is not authoritative. It does not establish authoritative requirements for financial reporting by public sector entities that adopt standards of GRAP, nor does it override the requirements of any specific standard of GRAP. Since the conceptual framework is not authoritative, it does not have an effective date or transitional provisions. The conceptual framework is applicable from the date when it was issued by the board. Standards of GRAP. The standards of GRAP set out the recognition, measurement, presentation, and disclosure requirements for financial reporting in the public sector. They are authoritative, and the effective date of the standard is determined by the Minister of Finance. Interpretations of the standards of GRAP. The board issues an interpretation of the standards of GRAP to outline its consensus on the appropriate treatment of a transaction or event based on the principles in the existing standards of GRAP. Interpretations, commonly referred to as IGRAPs, are authoritative, and it provides guidance on issues that are likely to receive divergent or inappropriate treatment in the absence of such guidance. Interpretations are drawn from existing principles in the standards of GRAP, but may include specific considerations or requirements to be applied to specific transactions or events. Interpretations may also require specific additional disclosures that are not included in the standards of GRAP. The effective date of an IGRAP is determined by the board. Looking at some other pronouncements. Directives. Directives are primarily used to set transitional provisions and transitional arrangements for the entities that are required to apply standards of GRAP. As a result, the issuing of a new standard or the adoption of standards of GRAP by a particular entity or group of entities may indicate that transitional provisions or transitional arrangements need to be developed and a directive would be issued. Directives can, however, be developed for other purposes. In particular, the board may want to direct the specific application of standards or requirements of standards during a particular reporting period. The effective date of a directive is determined by the board. Guidelines. The board issues guidelines to explain the application of the principles in the standards of GRAP to a specific transaction or event. Guidelines do not establish any new principles or any new requirements. Guidelines are often more detailed as they outline the board's research, which may include the key features of legislation or similar arrangements governing such transactions or events. Guidelines are not authoritative, but they may form part of the GRAP reporting framework, which entities may need to consider in preparing their financial statements for a particular period. The effective date of a guideline is determined by the board. Versions of the Standards of GRAP. How to identify the version of the standard you are in. We have been asked previously how to identify the version of the standard from the standard itself. Stakeholders will notice from the acknowledgement page in the standard a copyright date. On this slide, the date is 2023. This means that this version is applicable for financial periods beginning in 2023. How to identify changes to the standards. Changes to the standards can be identified in two ways within the standard itself. The first way is from the schedule at the front of the standard, just after the contents page and before the introduction. The schedule, as you see from this slide, lists all the amendments in chronological order. The second way in which you can identify changes to the standard is from the effective date section. This extract you see is from GRAP 20 on related parties, and under the heading Entities Already Applying Standards of GRAP, paragraphs 39A, 39B, and 39C state the paragraphs in the standard that were amended and also the effective date of the amendments. Standards of GRAP. The Standards of GRAP comprise authoritative sections and non-authoritative sections. Let's unpack each section separately. The core text. The core text of the standard is authoritative and includes the principles of the standard on recognition, measurement, presentation, and disclosure. The application guidance. The application guidance is an integral part of the standard and is authoritative. It explains the application of particular aspects of the standard. The implementation guidance. The implementation guidance accompanies the standard, but it is not part of the standard. It is non-authoritative, and its purpose is to illustrate certain aspects of the requirements of the standard. The illustrative examples. The illustrative examples do not form part of the standard. It is non-authoritative. The purpose of this section is to illustrate the application of the standard and to assist in clarifying its meaning. The basis for conclusions. The basis for conclusions accompanies, but it is not part of the standard. It is non-authoritative. The basis for conclusions provides the board's reasons for accepting or rejecting certain proposals related to the accounting matters in the standard. This concludes my presentation. If you found this helpful, please hit the like button, share, and comment. For more videos like this, subscribe to our YouTube channel. Thank you.